Good morning, friends. Today I'm going to talk about a gorgeous piece of audio gear that I own. Every single person that comes to my apartment to listen to my setup has not left without complimenting this piece of audio gear. It's none other than the Lampizator Golden Atlantic TRP. What you're looking at is the Golden Atlantic TRP with this beautiful copper chassis. TRP stands for Tube Roller's Paradise, by the way. You have a variety of tubes that can go on as output tubes and rectifier tubes, which change the tonal characteristics and the sound signature of this amazing DAC. There's a Whatsbestforum discussion that talks about all the potential tubes that can go on this DAC, and I will post a link for that article. There are two versions of this DAC, the regular TRP and the Golden Atlantic TRP. The Golden Atlantic TRP has upgraded chokes, upgraded capacitors and connectors, and a lot of other luxury features. It also comes in a beautiful flight case and looks and feels premium. This unit retails for about $9,375 with a single-ended output and no volume control. And I believe if you want to add those options, there's a premium upcharge to it. I use my own preamplifier and I've settled down on that, which is why I did not care about volume control. And my preamp only has single-ended inputs, so neither did I care about balanced outputs on the DAC as well. As you can see, I'm a big fan of tubes. And I also find that this Lampizator blends well with my tube preamplifier and my Von Gaylord tube power amplifiers. I believe that impedance matching is extremely important to extract the best out of any system, and this matches very well with my tube components. If you're wondering if you should get the regular Atlantic TRP or the Golden Atlantic TRP, here's my advice. If the rest of your system components, your preamplifier if you're using one, or your power amplifiers and speakers are all top-notch and completely transparent, then I would go with the Golden Atlantic TRP so you could appreciate the difference that the upgraded components bring. If you have a weak link in your setup, I would probably upgrade the weaker link before spending the extra $2,000 on this unit, on this upgrade. The big tube that you see in front is the 5-volt rectifier tube, and the two tubes that you see on the back are the octal power tetrode tubes. So the unit itself ships with two fantastic tubes, the Siemens EL34 and the 5U4G tubes. But you can replace them with a variety of tubes that's available, including the most popular KT66, KT88, KT120, 150, and much more. I believe the rectifier tubes can be changed to 274Bs, GZ34s, and a lot of other tubes. The nicest thing about this DAC is the warmth that the DAC brings to your entire system. If you have watched my previous videos, I would have actually made it clear that my type of music is mostly female vocal jazz, and I am a big fan of really, really awesome warm mid-range. I've had quite a few DACs, including the Mytek Manhattan 2, the Chord Dave DAC, and then the PS Audio Direct Stream DACs. But I find that the amount of warmth that this DAC brings is second to none. I initially tried the Amber 3, and I really got hooked to the Lampizator brand. And then I was able to upgrade to the Golden Atlantic TRP because of Lampizator's generous trade-up program. My dealer from Tennessee, Gestalt Audio, Colin from Gestalt Audio, also sent me a few more tubes, and one of those tubes was this tube, USAF 596, as you can see here. So this tube has an adapter, which is the two horns that you see on top of the tube, which happened to be my most favorite rectifier tube. And then he also sent me some PS Vane output tubes along with couple more variants. I believe it's KT77 and KT66 new production tubes. I was not a big fan of the KT77 tubes, and I was not a fan of the KT66 new production tubes as well. Based on the recommendation on the Whatsbestforum, I ended up acquiring a pair of KT66 new old stock tubes from eBay for about 800 bucks. I thought it was a pretty steep price, but obviously because it's new old stock, you have to bear in mind that the less the number of available tubes, the more expensive it's going to be. But you know, I had to bite the bullet, and I ended up getting those tubes, and the mid-range was fantastic. I am not kidding. It was a really awesome mid-range. I'm not even kidding. It had a fantastic mid-range. I also got the Tesla EL51 tubes based on recommendations on this WhatsApp forum. Those tubes were amazing. You know, the Tesla tubes were fantastic, but I felt like the mid-range was slightly better on the KT66, and the bass was much better on the Teslas. The Teslas also, I believe, output more, or the output is more than the KT66. So depending on the type of music that I was listening to, I kept changing the tubes. And finally, I came across this company called Sophia Electric, and they were manufacturing this specific blue EL34 tubes, the tubes that you are seeing on my DAC right now. I bought them used. They had about 200 hours on them, and then I was hoping to do some critical listening after about 20 to 30 hours. But boy, right from the second hour, these tubes started shining. I cannot tell you how awesome these tubes are and how excited I am to listen to these tubes. The bass is great. You know, again, I'll post a list of the songs that I listen to, that I usually listen to and test my equipment with. And the bass, the mid-range was phenomenal. These tubes were the perfect mix of the bass in the EL51s and the mid-range of the KT66s. And they're not expensive as well, so it was a win-win situation. Sophia Electric also manufactures 274Bs, so I just ordered one. I should be getting the tube in the next couple of days. I'm curious to see what it brings to the table. So far, my favorite rectifier tube has been this USAF 596. I've also tried the Shoe Gang 274B, which is my second option when I'm not using the 596. The best thing about this DAC is every time you put new tubes in, it almost sounds like a brand new DAC. You know, it brings so much variety. It brings so much joy, and the tonal changes in the DAC are very evident. I think I've found a new hobby now, which is changing tubes and not changing DACs. So if you're someone that has similar tastes as me, who likes tubes and who likes analog sound, I would highly recommend using a tube DAC as opposed to a solid state DAC, especially with tube DACs that can roll tubes. Trust me, you will find it amazing. Please subscribe if you like it. Subscribe if you like it. Please subscribe if you like it.